so wonderful.
Yeah,
It's good to have people to work with who understand and know some of the work themselves. And you've provided all of you have provided a lot of information to us from your previous cruises that we certainly don't know.
I bet you that these crabs are going to be going after the fish heads that are scattered around. And Emily knows these fish so well that she's making some children's videos about them. We got the chance to see one the other day, and it was really great, very informative.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to see it.
Oh, you weren't there?
No.
I want to see it again, so.
Good. We'll have an encore.
All right, video. It's got a little bit too much sediment here.
Yep. Foggy day at the beach.
Yeah.
So front row, would this be a good time to introduce yourselves?
Sure. So this is Josh Carlson. I'm in the ROV navigation seat.
Levi Unima, sitting pilot.
Fernand Dragon, sitting as co-pilot.
Bob Knott over on the right on video.
And in the video clipping chair, I'm Emily Narrow, and we are all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration.
And I am Leslie Sauter from the College of Charleston, and I am the geology science lead for this expedition.
And I'm Cheryl Morrison from the U.S. Geological Survey, and I am the biology science lead for the expedition. Windows to the Deep 2018.
And if you've been listening throughout this dive and probably several others, you may have heard our colleague Stephanie Bush from the Smithsonian. And Stephanie is a midwater specialist, but also a great narrator and educator, we've learned. And she is the sampling manager for this cruise. So she's often in the lab when we're here watching must-see TV, right? What did you call it?
Deep sea TV.
Deep sea TV.
Come in.
And that was Amanda Demopoulos from USGS and Martha Nazinski from NIMFS and the Smithsonian, who came up with that deep sea TV.
I like that. And now we have also in the back row with us Derek Sowers, who's just waving. He doesn't have his headset on, so we won't make him go through all that. But he is the mapping lead, and he and Kevin Jerem have done a great job. I don't know when Derek sleeps because he's with us all day, and then the next morning he's assisted Kevin with the mapping. Kevin's on the night watch, so
it's raining.
He disappears periodically. Maybe he's taking a nap.
That's why there were all those squid above you earlier.
Oh yes.
But it's wonderful to have such great mapping expertise on board too. I teach seafloor mapping at a very introductory level to undergraduate students, and I wish I had more time to learn from these experts who are at sea with me.
Yeah, wondering the same thing. Come in.
You can see several more of these fish heads here. Wondering if this is going to be another meal for the black belly rosefish. Oh, maybe not.
He's protecting it, maybe. We might take it.
Yeah.
Well, he has several to choose from there, so.
Now the squid are back. Serious, yeah. All right, video. Pilot's clear. How's that heading change coming?
Done about 35, 20. They're at 137 right now. So they've come from here to here.
Okay.
You might look out to the east
Okay.
So these squid are basically completing a cycle of benthopelagic coupling. So we have these myctophid midwater fishes that are swimming just above us, and they migrate down here at night or during the day so that they can remain invisible to predators. But then the squid eat parts of them, and then the rest fall to the benthos, so that provides food. So I'm sure that a lot of these crabs and black-belly rosefish and other fishes are going to be eating the parts that the squid leaves behind. And it's taking that food from the water column and distributing it all over the benthos here.
Let go.
Is that I was wondering if we were going to see any fish heads dropping out of the water.
Go ahead, Bridge.
I have seen a couple.
You have?
Yeah.
Falling?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding.
We could put in a move here.
I'm facing 195.
Is that Fernando?
I'm facing 195.
That's where you want to go?
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
So the next waypoint is at 162, 178, something around there. Basically south. You want to head south?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
that'll work.
There's something in this
Different
one, maybe.
deal in the,
Understood.
Yep.
Ooh,
All
there
right,
is
pilot, I'm
somebody
facing
there.
one.
Looks
Could
like a
frame it
fish
up,
in this.
video. The approach.
Looks like a conger eel kind of fish. He's big, whatever it is.
Come in. Partial. Yeah.
Bridge, RV Nav. Bridge, RV Nav. Okay. We have a ship move ready for you. 30 meters at a bearing 180 at a speed .2 knots. That is correct. Good copy.
Pilot, if we can scoot around to the side and get a side view, would
Yeah, I can do that.
be helpful for ID.
Could frame it up, video. As I spin around. Yeah.
He looks about the size of organism that might make that kind of burrow. Is he an anglerfish of some sort?
Yeah, you can kill
That-
lasers.
Looks like he has that sensory organ on his nose.
Yeah, I can't quite tell. Here comes a fish head
A
rolling
fish
by.
head rolling. They're everywhere. Maybe he's just waiting for fish heads to come in.
You got me. You might pull the tether,
Wow.
pilot.
Okay. Should be okay, I think.
He looks quite
Ship move
sleepy.
that should push you that way. So.
All right. Yeah, we're pretty shallow, so I'll get there pretty quickly.
He does. Oh my gosh, he's big. He's got that big mouth, big wide mouth for gulping.
Yeah, I just looked up whether this could be a tilefish. I'm not all that familiar with what they look like.
Come in a little more if you
Yeah,
wanted.
neither
But
am I.
You probably need to. Wow.
Was that John Reed who suggested tilefish? I don't remember.
Oh, John Reed and Andrea Quattrini.
And Andrea. If this is their habitat, I'm surprised they are so common on menus.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
this
be.
would not be an easy. Of course, they probably live in shallower waters too, but
This doesn't look like the picture of the tilefish at all.
it doesn't. Not. Yeah, that's. This looks more like an anglerfish to me, with a big wide mouth, and it has a little bauble right over the mouth between the eyes. It might be a sensory organism.
All right, pilot's clear, video's clear.
Well, thanks for the good look at it, pilots, and hopefully we'll hear from somebody who can tell us more about this fish.
If only he'd come out.
I know, it would be a lot easier to identify him. You can see any of the fins.
I'm surprised he didn't go back in, really.
And there's that southern hake in the distance.
Well, that was a piece of luck to find somebody in the burrow.
Mm-hmm. We still can't be sure that he made it, but
He fit it a lot better than the black-belly rosefish. They are tiny compared to those holes. And both Mike Vecchione and Carolyn Ruppel both agree with you, Cheryl, that these fish heads are delivering a large package of carbon to the seafloor, and they provide feasts for some.
yeah, you think about how much you'd have to work to get particles out of the water column versus that big fish head.
Mm-hmm. Long ago, we used to think that the deep sea was flat, featureless, and lifeless, because where would they get their food?
Mm-hmm.
And then there were some hypotheses. Well, giant whales must have just fed the sea bottom, and that certainly does happen when a whale carcass lands on the seafloor. Organisms from literally kilometers of distance will migrate toward that food source, that buffet. But there's also this constant rain of marine snow to the seabed, providing lots of nutrients and carbon, and as well as the particulates that become part of the sediment record. But an individual dead organism, bingo.
Yeah. I bet it doesn't stay around long.
Yeah.
This hole looks like it's been relatively recently excavated.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
come
sure
in
does.
partial. It's a possible crab. Covered in dust, maybe? I don't know.
There's a little sargassum in the bottom of it, maybe?
Yeah.
Possibly.
It's not that recent. It's got the
What is the
holes
thing
in it.
just below?
Oh, yeah.
Is that a... Oh, it's a fish without a head, maybe. So somebody went for the other end.
I think he's just sleeping on the ground.
He could be sleeping.
That's what your mom
It's hiding its head. So
Yeah,
Wait,
so the
the
squid
squid
can't
don't
see
see
it.
All right. Yeah, I don't see
Earlier
that
on this dive, we saw an amazing hagfish. I don't know how long it was, but it had some length to it, and it burrowed from head to the very tip of its tail. We watched it just burrowing itself into the sand or the mud.
Oh, this is great. Carolyn Ruppel wrote that the two USGS technical staff members who sailed on the Armstrong science cruise, verification cruise, on which she had time in 2016, the ones that actually did the delineated the seepage here based on data collected, have been tuning in from Woods Hole today and seeing the validation of their results firsthand. So the remote sensing was what led us here, and we just verified that there are bubble plumes coming from the seafloor here. I don't know if we have run out of them now. We haven't seen any in a little bit.
Cheryl, have you encountered the last waypoint yet that you were headed towards? I thought they were close to that last waypoint, the ones you were really aiming for.
Actually, I think they were close to waypoint 4. They were between 4 and 5, and we passed 4. Let me check with Nav, though.
That is correct. We just passed 4 and we're about 100 meters from waypoint 5. No, I would assume that they put it right on the waypoint, would be my guess. Yeah, that would be my guess.
They're done with that heading change. They're still coming. Starboard.
They're coming, but if we want to move, they can stop at any time.
Yeah, so Carolyn, I think we're about at waypoint 4 now, and it was probably right around here.
Could probably call another move in if you wanted, but if you
maybe we'll
want to
see a
wait
little
for them
bit
to
more.
finish the move, that's okay too.
And
It's
Martha
going to be a while. They're doing a 90-degree change.
Nizinski, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Martha,
They're about 40
wrote
degrees.
in that Tom Monroe thinks
Right.
that the
Through
fish
it,
in the
so
burrow, the large fish that we saw a
put
few
another
minutes ago,
30
may
meter
be
boost.
an Atlantic midshipman, and
Or,
as a
you know, I
relative
could
of
put
the
a-
toadfish.
put 30
And
meter.
Whatever they're comfortable
Martha,
with.
could you ask Tom if he thinks that fish made the burrow or is just taking advantage of an existing burrow? Because we've seen so many of those, it would be
Bridge
nice
Army
to have a sense of who made
Would it be
these
okay
burrow
to stop
features.
the rotation and put it
You know,
in
I
zipper?
almost said it looked a little bit like a toadfish, but
Right, good
I didn't know
copy.
that there were any
We're looking
toadfish
at the same
relatives this
move,
deep,
30
so.
meters, bearing 180, speed decimal 2 knots.
So a relative of the toadfish would make this a type of angler. Oh, good. So I was thinking, oh, I thought it was an anglerfish.
Yeah.
Crab.
Both of our intuition were correct. This is the first
We have another
Bathanectes
move, 180,
swimming crab
30
that we've
meters,
seen in a while.
decimal 2.
Copy.
Could frame up the crab. It looks new. Could zoom in partial. Yeah.
Navigator, is it possible to ask the bridge if they have an idea where the current's coming from, either from DP or something else up there?
They have the estimate from DP, but I'm not sure how accurate that's going to be. We can ask them once they get the rotation done.
Yeah, it's at least something more
And
than
it's
we have
settled
done
out.
here. Okay.
Are you worried about recovery?
I was hoping he'd have
No,
a
no,
fish
no. We'll
head
probably
in
recover
his
that way,
Yeah.
but
pincers. Oh,
if they lose it, I don't know which way we're gonna stream or anything. I imagine bailout is
So
northeast,
midshipman fish
Yes.
have photophores, which they use to attract prey.
but I don't know where the current's coming from, and we
So-
have no way of knowing down here.
Bailout is to the east.
Okay.
So if we had the bailout, you guys are pretty much set to stream. you would rotate. And the ship would start heading east. D2 would just swing out.
Okay.
Oh, there's more fish heads.
That fish head is still moving.
Yes, it is.
Between snipe eels and moving fish heads. I'm curious what my dreams will be tonight.
Come in partial or more, I guess. And it's gone. Little snack.
It's a pretty good snack for that fish.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, now we know who eats fish heads.
It's the second time we've seen that today.
Yeah, I missed the first one, so I'm
All
glad
right,
to
video.
witnessed it.
Come on. Oh.
We must have disturbed some squid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of squid ink here.
Mike Vecchione says, and the cycle is complete. Yeah, those were the gills that were still pumping on the McTophid head. It's pretty amazing.
Some fresh lunch.
So do we know what a crab that was? Is it a Bathanectes?
Yeah, I think
It
that's
is,
about the
yeah.
necties.
But different from those we saw on the mounds, I believe. Which were we seeing?
We did see some Bathanectes, but not too many.
Bridge over
Yeah.
there. So this this new heading you're coming in on, is this the heading you're
So
you
it says
think
that
you're
the
gonna wanna recover on
midshipmen
also?
bury themselves in sand or mud in the intertidal. So this must be a deeper species than the one I'm reading about.
Oh, you're reading that. Okay. It's not from Tom yet. Still hoping that Martha will be able to contact Tom. Oh, she says Tom's not sure whether the fish made the burrow. Remains a mystery. So disappointing, but we understand. Thank you for checking, Martha.
Yeah, that's a good copy. The reason I ask is we're pretty shallow today, so there won't be a lot of time for setup. Any time we do for setup is going to eat into the recovery time. If that makes any sense. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah,
Bridge.
so the oyster toadfish makes a grunting noise. So I wonder if these midshipmen also make
What is
some
going
kind
on
of
with the USBL on this dive?
Seems to be correlated with
vocalization.
the heading of the ship.
Yeah.
No, it was doing that earlier,
Nobody
Yeah.
was doing it sideways, right?
but then it was doing
to
it different directions.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. I saw it like 15 minutes ago, doing it to the east when the ship was...
Thank you, Bridge. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, right over you, Levi.
Understood.
80 degrees. But we
The
just
ship
stopped.
is going to continue their rotation now. They just stopped their move,
Copy that.
finished their move.
Well, see quite a ton of burrows here.
So we continue to climb up this sedimented ridge of Hatteras Canyon,
Coming partial.
and we're at 325 meters now.
I think the small fish is protecting its lunch, which is bigger than itself. It's right behind it. Maybe not. Alright, we'll let it go. It's just a little guy.
We have about 40 minutes left in our dive.
Squiddo back.
And at this point, we're seeing if we re-encounter any more of the seep area. And if not, we'll be able to go back and look at our multi-beam and see if location fits where we are or where we have visited today. And we're pretty sure it's right on top of where it was predicted.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit earlier than we thought it would be that we saw the first plumes, but in the general area.
In the general
so
area,
we were
yeah.
pretty close.
That's a distressed fish.
Over here to the right. Did you come in on fish?
There's some significant mounds off the seabed instead of just a pit.
Oh, this fish isn't doing so well. Wonder if it was another injury from a squid or whether he's just freaking out.
Does he have a head?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
It looks like something happened to it, though.
Alright. You can come out.
And I'm not sure if this is true of all midshipman fish, but according to Wikipedia, there are 2 types of males and with different reproductive strategies.
Absolutely.
Type 1 males are 8 times larger in body mass and have much larger vocal organs, where type 2 males have very big reproductive organs.
Attack! Wow. Look at that.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
So I think that's where our dust is coming from.
Explains
Video
all.
is swapping out.
Okay, thanks video.
This guy over here. I think we'll have to look at that in slow motion. Look at that. They peeled right across one of those mounds.
Oh, yeah, they made a cut through it.
Yeah. I wonder if
So
they got distracted
on
by the
your
lights and just
floor
ran into the ground, or if
between
they
your
were
squids on
actually
HD2.
foraging.
Is that a squid or a... Oh, yeah. Come in partial, John.
Did he get anything?
Maybe he's just resting after all that excitement.
I don't see anything that he's holding.
The lighting's not improving.
Understood. Alright. Spin around. come up.
Just about to say, I think I see some tilted up.
Squid are trying to steal the show today. They've done a pretty good job. It's been very interesting watching their behavior.
Yeah.
Mike Vecchione said sometimes they do ram into the bottom accidentally.
Then they're always showstoppers. It's true. You can't even think about anything else when you see a beautiful bunch of squid go by.
Whenever they're done with that heading change, maybe we can call in another move.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Look at all the stripes on the seabed from the
School of
squid,
tilted up.
squid marks. Squid skids.
The squid skids.
Up to
That's
right.
great.
Tina 4.
There you go. Something to look at.
Tina 4, comb jelly.
It's coming at you.
Yeah. Some sediment coming down, I believe.
That comb is so beautiful in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And they use those rows of cilia for propulsion.
Lyco.
With a full wide.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Bridge.
Got a lot
Yeah,
of
we're good
dust
for
on
a
your
ship
front
move.
left
We can
skid.
do,
Actually,
if you're
both of
ready.
them.
Okay, next move, it will be 40 meters at a bearing of 180.
Crab on your lower
Speed
left.
decimal 2 knots.
Okay.
And I think that Stephanie told us this earlier, but Scott is also
Thank you, Rich.
reminding us that that was a baroid type of Tina 4, which are thin and predators
Yeah, we're
on
gonna move
other
40
jellies.
meters in this next move.
Okay.
Look, the
Try to cover some
USBL.
ground.
The USBL started to jump perpendicular to the heading of the ship.
To starboard.
Yeah.
No, before it was
Yeah,
with the.
Forward. Snap on crab.
Looks like he's looking for that shrimp in front of him.
Yeah.
Here's a great Bathanectes swimming crab. Oh, looks like he's about to get something here. Oop. This has just been a day of feeding, hasn't it?
Definitely.
It's one of those suggested shrimps,
yes.
it looks like. So again, another benthopelagic coupling where something from the water column makes it to the seafloor and becomes food for benthic organisms. See all of his mouth parts there working.
This is one of the swimming crabs. You can tell by his last pair of appendages that are flipper-like or paddle-like.
You got
Related
time
to the blue
barely
crab. right?
37 degrees.
Chesapeake Bay and all along the southeastern seaboard.
Video's clear.
All right, pilot's clear.
And you fish rolling down the hill, silver.
Oh yeah, we've seen quite a few of these. I think they get injured and then fall. That might just be a head again, yeah. We've seen tons of the fish heads.
Must be the squids.
Yeah. Feeding frenzy day.
Is that another one of the eel pouts that we were seeing lower?
I couldn't tell.
It just went out of view.
Yeah, I saw the striping on it, but couldn't see the fin.
Might be able to grab it yet.
Oh, here we go.
Come in video.
It does look like one. Yeah.
Video's clear.
Okay, pilot's clear.
Lots of squid in Sirius's view.
Yeah. The whole group's been following us all day.
Yes, if you look at camera 2, you'll
90
see
degrees.
that the squid are just hovering over us between D2, the ROV that has the camera you're viewing through, and the other ROV, which hovers above D2, Sirius, and takes up a lot of the tug that might occur on the tether. So Sirius is tethered to the ship, and D2 is tethered to Sirius. So it's great for Sirius to be keeping an eye on D2 for its situational awareness, especially in shallower areas where we are concerned about dangers like fishing and trawling gear still in the water. That could be very dangerous for the ROV, but also for large features that might be in the way or currents that might be pushing.
Past 90 degrees.
Copy that. Pushing forward.
You can stop the ship if you're.
Oh, that's fine.
They only have about 5 meters left in this move.
Okay.
We have plenty of time to hit the last waypoint, so feel free to look around.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That's right, we got distracted from looking at one of these mounds by those, I was going to say the pesky squid, but I know others don't feel they're pesky, so I paused, so I apologize.
I wonder what that thing is. Oh, so there's a burrow on the left and a mound on the right?
Yeah, I was wondering if
Could
they could
frame it up,
somehow
video the mound, if they're related.
haul that dirt so that the mound isn't right at their edge. It would seem inefficient, but it is
Maybe
down
some
slope at
lasers on it.
least.
For scale.
Watch leave this nav. We have about 40 minutes left in the dive.
And we have about 40 minutes left in the dive today.
There's a pink thing on the upper left.
You could snap it, but shrimp. Yeah.
Confirmed.
All right, you come wide.
Is that a different fish we're passing over at the bottom?
We could snap it.
Looks like a robin.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead.
I thought I saw
Take a
one of
bridge.
these earlier, and then we were distracted by something else. Is it a type of sea robin, I think?
Armored sea robin.
That is a specialized snout, isn't it?
Yeah. Making himself comfortable.
Okay, video's clicked.
The
All
armored sea robin.
That's clear. Good eye video.
Well, this has definitely been a very fishy dive.
Yeah, we haven't seen very many echinoderms. I don't think we've seen any urchins, right?
No, just the
We've just seen a
the
few of the
mud stars.
Mud stars. No brittle stars. I think this is the first day we've seen no brittle stars.
That's true, and this is a muddy surface.
Yeah, that's actually very interesting because this is the third intra or inter canyon ridge we have visited, and the first one, which was at an unnamed canyon, or at least we didn't know the name of the canyon, was just covered with brittle stars. And the second one, which was, I'm already forgetting. Oh, that was between
North of Pamlico.
yeah, but it was not one of the major canyons. It was just a canyon hugging the slope area, and we did see some in some
White crab
areas
head.
and not in other areas, and
Okay.
here we see none.
Yeah, 600 meters of transecting and not seeing any.
Yeah.
That's something.
He's going after the fish.
Oh, here's another predator
You can snap
prey.
in.
Wow, that's a tiny black belly rosefish. See if the crab goes into the burrow. Nope, walking around the outside. And Andrea Quattrini said that she thinks the eel pouts that we've been seeing with the spots on their sides are Lysencheles verili.
Shiny fish on the surface, or on the bottom.
We
You
sure did
snap
see
it?
a ton of those earlier, of all different sizes, but mostly small.
Yeah, I think we've seen quite a few of these.
Yeah, that's that fish with the forked tail, but I don't know if we've ever had that identified.
No, I remember seeing a good shot of it like this earlier. It's got a nervous twitch.
Yeah. I will let it go.
Mike Vecchio suggests an Argentine. Or is that for the sea robin? That's probably the sea robin,
I don't know.
the armored sea robin. Yeah, let us know, Mike, which fish you're referring to.
Sea star.
Argentinia.
Where?
I think it just buried itself.
That's probably the silverfish that we
Yes,
just
I
saw.
think so.
Great,
Bottom.
thanks, Andrea.
Lifted my eyes up and it went away.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't see it. Keep moving.
Another partially dead fish there on the surface.
You'd snap it.
Or one with a buried head.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the fish that's being fed on by the squid?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Looks like he's had quite an
Aw.
injury.
Yeah.
We haven't actually seen them feeding, have we?
Yeah, we've seen the squid grab them.
Okay.
Looks like there's fewer squid above D2 right now.
Probably got to move on pretty soon here.
That
Yeah, it'll
white
give you 30 meters.
curve there is sort of different fish.
So is the
Yeah, I'll go for it.
Argentinia a lanternfish, a myctophid, or
No,
I'm confused
the myctophid was the one that we just saw that had that was laying on the bottom,
now. Okay.
and
And
the
that's the
Argentinia
food
was
of the squid.
Bridge
Right.
right behind.
Okay.
and then the Argentine is the silvery
your
one that we
question,
saw that
please.
was swimming with the forked tail.
30
Okay.
meters, bearing
Thank you.
180.
Sure.
Speed
I
decimal
don't
2
know this
knots.
guy.
That's correct, thank you.
I can try to get closer video. You zoom out a little bit. Yeah. Get a closer look here. Squid are back. Try to get a closer look at this one. There. Could come in.
wonder if those white dots are supposed to be there or whether they could be parasites.
What's this over here on the right? Is that just a mound?
Alright. Looks like you got a move underway.
Yep.
Great.
So Andrea said the fish we were just looking at might be a Merluccius albitus.
Swim away, swim away.
Well, each of these pointed conical mounds are downdrift and downslope of the burrows. Or there's a burrow. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, that one on the left looks like it's...
Of course, as soon as I say that, I see one that isn't.
It's a good hypothesis.
No, it wasn't a good hypothesis. So these black belly rosefish were the dominant fish yesterday in a completely different environment.
Yeah, and then we see them in the Lophelia habitat too.
That's
so
right.
I guess they're just generalists.
I guess.
Or maybe these are different life stages because these sure do
These
look
are
young.
small. Well, it might be that they're just small because they don't have as much food here. They just don't grow large. I don't know. I don't know much about fish.
White object on the edge of that thing, is that what we were looking for much earlier?
Lower left or?
Top of the hole.
Oh, the crab?
No, I don't. Yeah, it is a crab, isn't it?
Yeah, we can get a closer look in a second.
It wasn't what I was thinking it was.
Okay.
I think that fish ahead has a big growth on its side.
This one right here?
Yeah.
You can snap on it if you'd like. Does look a little bit chubbier. Or if it had a large lunch.
Yeah, maybe it ate too many fish heads.
Yeah.
Still digesting.
Could let it go, video.
pilot looking at you at 72 degrees.
Copy that. Take a pause MV input to do that, Josh.
Yeah, if the
But it's not serious though.
No, serious, steady as a rock.
Could switch D2 to acoustic. Does that make a difference?
you could see what happens. Thank you, Bridge. Alright, that move's complete. The last move should put Sirius on waypoint 5.
Copy.
Lima Charlie. Do they want to keep going shallower after waypoint 5?
I would assume so.
Okay. What's D2's minimum depth?
250.
Okay.
So we're now at 308 meters. And we probably have 20 minutes left in the dive or so. We've been able to complete our entire dive track, more or less. I think we're getting really close to waypoint 5, our last waypoint.
It's a black spot.
An enemy.
Could frame it up as I approach. There's the hole.
An enemy.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
we
another
are ready for
burrow
the
or
next
hole.
move
This
now.
one you can see the excavation a bit, so that's probably actually dug by an organism.
I don't see anybody home.
Yeah, nobody home, but there are those like scraggly things hanging down that we've seen from a lot of the holes we've taken a closer look at. Shaggy,
I'm gonna
I
call
think
the
was what
next
Bob
move.
Carney was calling them earlier.
Same direction.
Copy.
A lot of little pock marks here.
So it's good now.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to solve the mystery of the little pock marks.
Unless there's something in our sediment scoop that might explain
Yeah, we'll let you know.
them.
Bridge,
I'll be
Army now.
sieving that out today.
Would like to call in another ship move. Range 30
It's our only
meters.
sample today,
Bearing
my gosh.
180, speed decimal 2 knots.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to sample these fish. They're too fast. And that's the majority of what we've seen today.
Yeah,
That's correct.
could have gotten a fish head.
That's true.